First draft, August 5th, 1991. So I wrote this script in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay. First, you wrote the first draft in 2 weeks.
And that was it, that's the only draft.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this is it. It has Tim's notes, and I think there's like 4 of them in here. They needed it.
There's only one script.
Yep, that was it.
One revision.
The band clanks the tune right back, phrase for phrase, but with a skeleton feel, exclamation point. That's Tim's writing right there. Let's see what this one is. Oh, too much. This was the evil scientist and Sally. The way I came to work on Nightmare, I was living with Danny Elfman at the time. He was my boyfriend, and he was working on the songs. So obviously I knew a lot about what was going on with the project.
Tell me about that dynamic. Since you were living with him, he wrote the music, you're writing the script.
So I wrote the script and gave it to him to read, and he hated it. And he said, oh, this is not what I had in mind at all. And I said, well, this is what I've done. I'm handing it into the studio.
Oh my gosh.
You know, Danny's, you know, we're all control freaks in our own way.
Of course, yeah. I mean,
I had no idea what he had in mind. This is what I wrote, and so they said, thank you so much, we're so relieved, this is brilliant. Now we can make a movie.
Right. I have brought a piece from my collection that I want to show you.
Okay.
She is very delicate.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. God, you have the whole girl.
Yes.
There she is.
Just be careful, her hair is
I will.
very brittle.
Okay, that's like mine. You've aged too, girlfriend. It reminds me of a Briar pony.
Yes, yes.
Her hair.
Her hair is all one piece.
All one piece.
Foam latex with the center core of lead so it could be posed.
Yes.
When you came on to do the screenwriting for Night Before Christmas, Sally was a different character.
She was a different shape. She was sort of like a vamp. And I couldn't really relate to her. And the character I would lean toward would be sort of more like the little match girl. She would be more fragile, but be able to show how tough she is. And Rick Heinrichs redesigned her. Looks like somebody went into a trash can and pulled out what pieces they could find of clothing. And he made her more stick-like. I could understand her narrative better than when she was just this sort of full-blown babe. And I loved her isolation and her need to escape. It just gave her places to start and places to go.
Yeah.
The first image that came to my mind for her was her throwing herself out of a tower, coming apart when she landed, and sewing herself back together again. And then the other image that came to me was of her detaching one of her legs and leaving it to seduce Oogie Boogie so she could go around and save Santa Claus.
What? You tried to make a dupe out of me?
So she was my primary contribution to the film, her story.
The Nightmare Before Christmas has had a very strong cultural impact.
I think everybody feels like they don't belong, and everybody can relate to that. But very few people had explored it.
Yeah.
And I think between Tim and Danny and myself, in the films we collaborated on, that we gave voice to people who felt like they didn't have a voice. And that's a great source of satisfaction to me.